Call to order the January 2nd, 2024 City Council meeting. Clerk, please call the roll.
Mayor Schwartz,
Here.
Councilmember Karen,
Here.
Councilmember Cheney Huggett. Here. Councilmember Gates,
Here.
Councilmember Traver,
Here.
Councilmember Underhill,
Here.
Councilmember Wolfersberger.
Here.
We have quorum, Your Honor.
Thank you. We don't have an invocation this evening, so please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. It brings us to the approval of the agenda. Under item 6, we have public comment on agenda items. Anyone in the audience this evening have 3 minutes to speak on agenda topics when called upon by the mayor. Followed by item 7, the consent agenda. Under A, City Council minutes, regular session from 12/4/2023 and the special meeting on 12/9/2023. Followed by under B, city purchases on 12/1/2023 in the amount of $169,024.63 on 12/8, $170,612.30. 12/15, $107,708.54. 12/19, $434,499.88. And 12/22, $402,670.21 for a total of $1,284,515.56 under item C, 2024 action plan. There's no presentations and recognitions, no informal items, no public hearings and subsequent council action, no old business. Under 12, we do have reports and recommendations under A, FiberNet Utility Comprehensive Evaluation. And then that brings us to item 13, appointment and elections. Planning Commission appointment this evening. Followed by 14, public comment on non-agenda items. People wishing to speak will have 2 minutes to speak on non-agenda items when called upon by the mayor. Followed by item 15, council and manager communications, and 16, adjournment.
Mayor, I'll move we approve the agenda as presented.
Support. Motion by Councilmember Karen, supported by Councilmember Traver. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. That brings us to our consent agenda. Consent agenda, again, under A, City Council minutes, regular session. Oh, I'm sorry. Anyone wishing to speak on agenda items may do so. 3 minutes when called upon by the mayor. Yes, sir.
Barry Wayne Adams, 622 West Green Street. First off, to make a correction in your minutes, it's not a bleeding farm, it's a breeding farm. And I guess if the metaphor escaped you, it's a crucial thing in American government, and it should be realized at the local level that again, the sole purpose of government is to facilitate the individual in his exercise of life, liberty, and property, and everything else is usurpation and encroachment. So when you start making these pyramid type projects, you know, these kind of things go all the way back to ancient Egypt, you know, the way to co-opt the skills and energy of individuals for a centralized purpose rather than providing the arena for an existence of personal autonomy and actually being able to live your life as you see fit and not being a factotum for, you know, some big money project decided by the governor and her globalist friends. But, again, you do a very good job of explaining without disputation my elaboration on the actual nature of the character of authority that's being exerted in these different projects. And that the whole scheme seems to have been engineered by members of the bar for the purpose of trying to escape the prohibition at Article 9, Section 18 of the Michigan Constitution that prohibits the use of public monies in furtherance of private interests. Again, the credit of the state shall not be granted to, nor in aid of any person, association, or corporation, public or private, except as authorized in this Constitution. And there is nothing in the Constitution authorizing you, giving these handouts to Ford. So the challenging of the process still continues, and actually the wind starts to be shifting. And as more and more people nationwide sees what's going on, especially in terms of timelines and making things known when you should have and when you didn't.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak on agenda items? Seeing none, that moves us to item 7, consent agenda. Under 7A, City Council Minutes, regular session 12/4/2023, special meeting 12/9/2023. Then we have city purchases as stated on 12/1/2023 in amount of $169,024.63. Followed by 12/8/2023 in the amount of $170,612.30. On 12/15/2023 in the amount of $107,708.54. 12/19/2023, $434,499.88. On 12/22/2023 in the amount of $402,670.21 for a total of $1,284,515.56. And then under item C, our 2024 action plan.
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Support.
Motion by Councilmember Wolfersberger, supported by Councilmember Karen. Roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Cheney Huggett,
Yes.
Councilmember Gates,
Yes.
Councilmember Traver,
Yes.
Councilmember Underhill,
Yes.
Councilmember Wolfersberger,
Yes.
Mayor Schwartz,
Yes,
Councilmember Karen.
Yes.
Motion carries.
thank you. That brings us to item 12, reports and recommendation under A, FiberNet Utility Comprehensive Evaluation. City Manager.
Good evening, Mayor, members of City Council. Appreciate you taking time this evening to talk about item 12A. As we've talked before, FiberNet, although extremely reliable, most recently we've had hit a spot where the reliability is not what we have been accustomed to. And we know we need to do something about that. We can't just sit on our hands. So we reached out to several different consultants to help us do an evaluation of the FiberNet utility to make sure that, look at our weaknesses, look at our strengths, and give us a full report so that we can turn this utility around and return it back to the reliability that our customers have come to expect from FiberNet. And again, this is what we're looking for is a consultant, Magellan Entrust, Magellan, excuse me. They submitted the low bid at $102,200. And we'd like permission from City Council to engage with them and start doing that evaluation. It's important. I will also note that as city charter actually calls out a review of our departments every 4 years. So this will help us be compliant with that too. So it's very timely.
Okay, thank you. Discussion by council?
Derek, in looking in this project overview, it shows this is about a 5-month project. I understand that this is going to take time, but we're having a lot of, issues that are causing disruptions to businesses and, you know, local residents. I just want to make sure that we can get them in here and have them kind of do the assessment, but then hopefully take some immediate action to get the little things adjusted that we can to try to make this a little smoother than it has been.
Absolutely. That, again, that's really why, I think I alluded to, I was trying to avoid actually having a meeting here at the first of January. But again, we're at the point where we need to move on this as quickly as possible. So again, that's why this recommendation is before you tonight. And certainly we need to know what are those immediate brush fires that we need to take care of. And these consultants will help us do that.
I can help a little with that, just knowing the process that these go through. There will be some low hanging fruit that they'll find in their initial assessment, and they'll be able to make some recommendations. Some of them will be things that can, some of them won't. But the 5-month process will be, you know, the entire package of, you know, seeing what's here, seeing, making recommendations about what can be changed, and then putting forth a path for the future.
We don't have the time to allow it to go out 5 months. We need to
Right.
get some of this reliability back to like what our standard is, so.
I did look it up. I mentioned in the meeting that, in networking, the standard for uptime is 99.999%, 5 nines. And, that is a little over 5 minutes of unplanned downtime a year. So I mean, it's, you know, we're definitely not hitting that. You know, these guys this is exactly what they do. So I feel really good about the proposal they put forward.
So is it the understanding that they would be able to do some fixes as we go along, or we gotta wait till the end of the 5 months?
They'll be able to do fixes as we move along. I mean, if there are issues that there's routers, as we talked about, switches, that stuff that needs to be replaced, then we just do those things.
Any other discussion?
When will they be starting?
Well, if city council approves it tonight, I'll reach out to them and say, okay, we got approval. And now send us over an agreement that I can work with the city attorney on, making sure that, we're both comfortable with that, and then we'll proceed with getting them in here.
Where are they located?
They're actually nationwide. All 3 firms are actually nationwide. So they'll be pulling in the experts from throughout the United States, depending on who has the capacity to get in here, and then which of the components that they need to work on.
Yeah, I saw the travel costs in there. I'm just curious where they'd be coming from.
Yeah.
All right, that's fine. Thank you.
Take a motion to authorize the city manager to enter into an agreement with Magellan and Trust and sign the necessary documents.
So moved.
Support.
Motion by Councilmember Gates, supported by Councilmember Wolfersberger. Roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Karen,
Yes.
Councilmember Cheney Huggett,
Yes.
Councilmember Gates,
Yes.
Councilmember Traver,
Yes.
Hill,
Yes.
Councilmember Wolfersberger,
Yes.
Mayor Schwartz.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. That brings us to appointments and elections. Planning Commission appointment. City Manager.
Good evening again. Final item for tonight is 13A. We are in need of a final planning commissioner, and fortunately, someone has decided to volunteer and throw their hat in the ring. Mr. Aaron Hodo has decided that he wants to help us out on the planning commission, so he's being recommended tonight for that appointment.
Right. Aaron's name came up, and I did reach out to the city manager. He's well qualified. I recommend we move him forward as the appointment. Several on the council have also supported his motion, but that's why I wanted to bring it before you tonight, so we can get that position filled. So with that, I'll take a motion to approve the appointment of Aaron Hodo to the Planning Commission for a term ending on December 31st, 2026.
So moved.
Support. I have a motion by Councilmember Karen, supported by Councilmember Underhill. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Here. just want to say thank you. This is part where the community steps forward. It's a voluntary position, one that takes a lot of commitment, understanding, and I do appreciate you reaching out. Welcome aboard. Absolutely. Thank you. That brings us to public comment on non-agenda items. Persons addressing city council are required to give their name and address for the record when called upon by the mayor. Members of the public shall be limited to speaking for a maximum of 2 minutes. Comments shall address non-agenda item topics. Anyone wishing to speak on non-agenda items? Yes, sir.
Barry Wayne Adams, 622 West Green Street. Yeah. Changing faces in a revolving door of corporate fascism really doesn't work toward the notion of government for the people, by the people, and of the people. And anybody who comes into the arena of being a public servant should realize that there's an oath of office. It's you can find it at MCL 15.151. And it requires you to uphold the Constitution of the United States and the state of Michigan. And in particular, again, the whole purpose is to Article 1, Section 1 of the Michigan Constitution. It's about the collective natural rights of the people. So, people get into these crypto-fascistic boards, because these are all corporate forms. A government that is a pyramidalized form of corporations is a system of corporate fascism. I'll say it 1,000 times and still waiting to hear somebody dispute the idea. But yeah, if you want to find out what the will of the people is, come on down to the fountain. And Wednesdays, 3:30 to 5:30, or Saturdays, 12 to 2, and see what the actual will of the people is. It's better than 90%, better than 99% are against the mega site. And they wonder why you people aren't listening to that. But, fires down in the Detroit area, EV factory going up. Don't even hear about it over on this side of the thing. 60 firefighters, 18 fire trucks.
Thank you. Brings us to council and manager communication. Councilmember Gates,
Happy New Year to all. Nothing else. Thank you.
Councilmember Underhill. Councilmember Karen.
Nothing further. Thank you.
Councilmember Traver.
No, thank you.
Councilmember Wolfersberger.
I think so.
Councilmember Cheney Huggett.
No.
City manager.
Thing I'll say is I know a couple of city council members received a complaint about water quality in Cosmopolitan. I know that that's been an ongoing problem and we'll be investigating that with our public services. So, or to get a proper response back to them. So.
Clerk.
Nothing for me.
Thank you. I do wish everyone a happy new year. 2024 brings more possibilities and looking forward to addressing those as they come forward. That being said, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion by Councilmember Karen, supported by Councilmember Wolfersberger. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Meeting's adjourned.